I want you to imagine we're going across Confederation Bridge to the town of Coleman, PEI, population about 86 people, and say hello to Darrin Mitchell. He's one of the co-owners at Trout River Industries that I think employs somewhere about 106 people, Darrin. And Trout River Industries, from what I understand, what you've been telling me, is very much on an all systems go mindset right now. So love to say hello and let you tell folks just watching today exactly what it is you guys are doing at Trout River, where you guys manufacture live bottom trailers.
How you doing, Gary? It's good to see you.
Great to see you, my friend.
I'm going to throw you for a bit of a loop today. How long have we known each other?
Oh, close to 20 years, for sure.
You know me to be a big social guy who loves singing.
Oh, I see something coming. I'm preparing for something that I feel I'm being set up here. So go ahead. I have no idea, just so you know, folks, I got no idea what he's going to do.
Lord, I hope this day is good. I'm feeling empty and misunderstood. And that there was from Don Williams in 1981. And I get the feeling today we're all feeling that as business people. And keep in mind, it takes a lot for me to sing in front of potentially millions of people, but I get it. And that's what I really want people to know today, is that I even had one of my managers come to me in the last week, and he said, Darrin, he said, I got to tell you, he said, I wake up in the morning and I feel good, and the sun's out, and I get my truck and I start driving to work, and I pass someone's house and I realize that that person's laid off right now. And then I pass the next house and I realize someone else is going through hard times. And then I get to work, and then all of a sudden, wham and wham and wham. And he said, by noon, I start getting heavy. And I feel for everybody who's going through that right now. I want to be very careful that we're eternal optimists. We're always looking for opportunities that are out there. But I genuinely feel today for people who are feeling heavy, because you can only take so many hits before you start to get heavy. And I've been thinking a lot lately about people during war times. I know you're a huge history buff, but I'm thinking a lot about today, especially people, frontline people, doctors, nurses, first responders. My brother's a police officer, and I'm thinking a lot about these people, and they don't get a lot of wins. They don't get a lot of coming home at night saying, nailed that big deal, made a lot of profit. They're just here to keep us safe. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving a big shout out to those people, because some days when I'm rolled up in the comforter and I don't want to get out from bed because I'm thinking, here we go again, I just want to just make sure it's important that we as business people understand that we do get successes, we do get wins along the way. And there are some people out there that don't get wins, no matter what they're doing, because they're here to keep the rest of us going. So I take that to heart, and the reason that I'm sharing that with you right now is it's a really good day for us as business owners to appreciate the fact that we are in a position to create wins. And there's a lot of people out there that need us to do that today.
You know, and you just made me think, Darrin, I don't know that I've ever been more aware personally of the contributions that, you know, grocery store workers are making right now. The contributions, yes, the healthcare profession, absolutely, everyone connected with public health, but then there's the truck drivers, you know, who are keeping the economy rolling. My sister is an airline attendant, and so your thoughts are very much with anyone who's on the front lines dealing with this, and some of the very daily and the very real struggles that are happening. I think of all those business owners, and that's why we started having these conversations. Business owners right now who are genuinely concerned, they need to hear from guys like you, Darrin, in terms of how you are, how you guys over at Trout River. You're in the middle of nowhere in PEI. You sell a product that's very unique, these live bottom conveyor belt system trailers. How are you guys keeping your business head above water when markets are crashing and people are canceling orders, and in some cases people are being laid off?
100%. The biggest thing personally that I'm remembering right now is as an entrepreneur, my job is to be resourceful. So we are being very resourceful these days. We're trying new things. We're working on markets and contracts we wouldn't have normally worked on before. So we think there may be some doors that are opening to us that would not have been open before when times were great. So we're pivoting. So we don't mind doing that right now. We're not so set in who we are. So we're looking at some military stuff that's coming up. We just launched a new product this week, and most people would say that's the worst thing you could have done, but I think it's a great time to talk to a lot of business owners who may be looking for something new. So we've launched a new product this week, and those are just a few things that we're doing. And one of the things, Gare, that you taught us, I think we've known each other for many, many years, but one of the training sessions you did with us years ago was the acronym PUF. Do you remember that? There you go. And that we, I don't know if I can repeat what it means, but it basically means pick up the phone.
Pick up the freaking phone. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. We are spending a lot of time right now on the phone with all of our partners across the board, and we're getting orders coming in. And again, if we're afraid and we're in the bunker and we're hiding, so to speak, that's not going to help anybody. Because the world is still turning. We are going to get out of this, and the world needs us to stand up right now and, quite frankly, make shit happen. And we just don't have the luxury of hiding right now. Those frontline people aren't doing it, and we as business owners are not going to do it right now either. Keep in mind, we're doing everything we can to, I think, the best of our ability to keep all of our staff and the families that work here safe. It's extremely important to us. Nothing trumps that. But secondly, we also have to remember that when this is over, there is going to be a company to come back to that's better than ever.
You know what? And that's I know what a lot of people have been asking me lately. I'm having these conversations, as many as 20 or 30 conversations daily with CEOs, entrepreneurs, small businesses. It doesn't matter. It's the struggle. Where do you strike the balance, Darrin, in your opinion? So many people I talk to, it's like, the last thing they want to do is like lay people off. And if they are forced to, they want to take care of them as best they can. But where do you see, how do you strike a balance between the taking care part and the fact is, hey, companies don't have endless buckets of money like the government, and you got to have a company to come back to when some sense of normalcy returns.
You and I have never held anything back. People smell bullshit a mile away. So I'm very, very careful to always keep my attitude in check, because people are watching me very, very closely today. And I spent the last week, just getting back to your question about the balance, I've spent the last week dividing half my time of we need to go, and the other half of the time is spent with my managers, any concerned staff we have. I'm meeting with them one-on-one, and I'm not telling them everything's perfect. That would be a lie. What I'm telling them is, share with me your concerns, and then I'm going to show you what we're doing as a company. I'm not going to tell you. So I got to admit, this is a very human thing. It's tough. And at the end of the day, you go home and you go, oh, no more. But guess what? This is the life of an entrepreneur. If you don't like it, step down. That's your choice. And if you're really good at it, now's the time to step up.
You know, and in that spirit, what I hear from you is something I heard the other day. Before March 11th, in my opinion, ground zero is when the NBA postponed their season. When the NBA pulled the plug, everything really unleashed from there. So before March 11th, you were a peacetime CEO. Now you're a wartime CEO. Love to hear you elaborate on that, Darrin, and what the implications are especially from a mindset point of view.
Mm. Peacetime is really good for systems, monitoring things like financial statements, optimization within your business. And some entrepreneurs or business leaders really need to check themselves right now and ask themselves, are they built for war? Because they're in one. And I know personally, I'm built for war because I'm not really good at optimization. I enjoy growing and all the new struggles that this is who we've been for the last 20 years. So I actually enjoy someone telling me I can't do something, so just so we can go out and do that. I think that's just a personality trait that my business partner and I both share. But I would say somebody right now, if they're a peacetime entrepreneur, it may be a good time to have some conversations with someone else who's more built for war. But that's just something that companies will have to do internally. But you are right. We are in war, and hiding in a bunker right now is the absolute worst thing you can do. If you are in a bunker, go out and ask someone for help. Call me. I'll gladly talk to anyone that's out there right now, because as we go through this, we live in capitalism. You can argue day or night about what's right and wrong about capitalism. We live in capitalism, and it's what makes the world go round. I'm sorry if anybody thinks otherwise. So we as business people, we have a responsibility to make that economy go round. We're not, and one of the things that scared me recently is I talked to CEOs across North America, and I would say one of the most dangerous things that I've heard from the peacetime CEOs is, well, at least we're all in it together. And I think that is so dangerous to start thinking and talking that way. Your job is to produce world-class results every day, no matter what's being thrown at you. You do not have, and actually I heard this from Naheed Nanchi, the mayor of Calgary. He said, we have lost the luxury of panic. And I thought that was just a really good quote to hear. You don't have that luxury to panic anymore. You have to produce shit today. Find a way, be resourceful, make it happen. I am so sorry the world didn't go the way you thought it would. Too bad, suck it up. And if you don't, people around you might suffer. It's your job.
You know, that's very well said. And the other thing that I think is worth illustrating here is something you've done concretely, and I've been recommending folks more and more, especially CEOs and company owners, to do. Now, the background to this is since 2010, Trout River was very strategic in operating from the middle of nowhere with nickels and dimes for marketing, but you really jumped into the YouTube space in a very deliberate, strategic manner. I think you've got something like 6 million views on YouTube. It's been key to building the business. But lately, I've noticed on social media, you've been very front and center. How valuable is it right now for a CEO, any business leader, to be basically front and center, staring the camera in the eye and explaining the way the world's, shaping up right now?
It's Saturday, and I'm here talking to you. I could be at home hiding under a big pile of coats today, but that isn't going to solve anything. When you are willing to get over your own insecurities, and I have them like every other human being, when you're willing to get over your own insecurities, all the videos that I've been doing this week, who's watching them? My employees' families, who are also scared of what's happening. And lo and behold, I'm now getting emails from customers who want to buy trailers in the middle of everything else because they're saying, you're the type of company we would want to do business with. And guess what? How much better are we going to be in peacetime? A lot. But now you know what we're looking like when we're at our worst or most vulnerable.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really caught me on one of your videos was this one line, and we'll wrap it up here and hear your final thoughts, Darrin, is you can't hide behind the memo. You can't just send out an email anymore.
No, that's, and I think back at you, Gary, I think it's what you're saying about peacetime. Memos may be acceptable then. They're not acceptable now. You're dealing with human beings that need level 10 leadership. I'm not even quite sure I'm the guy to do it. It just happens to be my job description today. So hell with it, just make it happen. It may be right, it may be wrong. It's what we're dealing with. You just stand up and push through.
Darrin, really appreciate you doing this. And hey, all the best to you and everyone at Trout River. I know Harvey's out there, Alan. I'm trying to think of all the people. Barry, there's so many folks out at Trout River that I've gotten to know, and we're pulling for you.
Awesome, and you keep up the great work too, Gary. This is a very good message that that needs to be delivered to a lot of good CEOs and good companies that are out there that are going to turn out even better for this. So thank you for doing it.
Well, and we can't do it without guys like Darrin Mitchell. I've been saying in these conversations constantly that traditional media is full of news that, you know, and given what traditional media is, its construct, its framework, they're there to report the news, the health issues, all the different concerns from implications from government, and have on all the experts. What you won't see in traditional news media, and it's not their fault because they're not built for it, but they won't see the kind of conversations that business leaders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and especially small business, the most vulnerable part of our company, what they're not going to see are these types of conversations, which are essential to helping move business forward. And as Darrin mentioned, now's not the time for a peacetime CEO. You got to think in terms of wartime and all the things that need to happen so that we can all lead together in these unpredictable times.